So since the brand new War Lab has actually provided a lot of players with different opportunities to make their vehicles a lot more stronger, and what I mean by stronger, like fully overpowered in some cases, well, in this video guys, I will be doing a top 5 video for every single set of vehicles in War Tycoon of what vehicles you guys should prioritize upgrading first. So for example, I'll be covering the planes, helicopters, the ground vehicles, and then tanks. So anyway, let's just jump into this video. This is something that a lot of people have been waiting for, and today I will be here to actually give you guys the best vehicles to go ahead and upgrade to maximize their potential, and this list is actually going to be very interesting. So me personally, I haven't been super active in terms of actually upgrading my own vehicles, but I have seen a lot of pro players, which I have actually asked a lot of them to give me some recommendations for vehicles that are probably going to be the best for upgrading. So first of all, we're actually going to be starting with planes. So this is probably going to be a pretty obvious one. First of all, I'm going to be heavily recommending the F-35. The reason why is because it will allow you guys to actually, while fully upgrading its health metrics, so it actually allow most players to be able to actually tank a tank show of fully upgraded tank, and this is very important. Same we have ourselves with firepower, and same we have ourselves with speed. And by the way, very fast recommendation for the people wondering. Personally, I believe that the best is going to be first upgrading the firepower, then upgrading the speed, and then only upgrading the health. The reason why I give you guys this high recommendation is because the health is not going to be as important if you guys are going to be utilizing movement. However, firepower and speed, they're going to be a lot more important in terms of upgrading. Anyway, the next vehicle which I have for you guys in terms of planes is going to be the F-22 Raptor. The reason why the F-22 is so good is because it has a higher base speed than the F-35. Since the F-35 has a base speed of 300 and this one has 305, it will actually be able in some way, shape or form to outturn the F-35, and it will be able to pretty much be one of the fastest turning vehicles in the whole entire game, just because of the fact that the travel speed is going to be one of the highest. The reason why the travel speed corresponds so well with being able to turn is because the faster you guys will be going, the more you're actually able to turn in some cases, as of recent game mechanics which people have discovered. Anyway, next vehicle we have ourselves here is the Su-57 Felon. The main reason why is because this vehicle does actually hit like a truck because of its 6 multi-role missiles, and that's pretty much the most important part about it. It also has some really good turning speed, but it's nowhere near going to be as good as the F-45s and the F-22s. So mainly the firepower and health is going to be your main goal here, guys, and if you're going to be doing ground attacks, the speed is actually not going to be this good. Anyway, moving to the next vehicle right here is going to be the JAS-39 Gripen. The main reason why I actually go with this is because of its 8 fire and forget missiles. They don't actually do this much damage, so giving these missiles a 30% damage buff is an absolute huge plus. Another thing that you guys would definitely need to upgrade is going to be speed, because the speed of this vehicle is actually not this good, and the health of it is not going to be mattering as much because it's going to be fast and nimble. However, the one last vehicle that I have on this list, which I will be putting above the Su-25, and I'll be explaining you guys why, the A-10 Warthog. You guys have already seen me use this vehicle. This thing is an absolute powerhouse in terms of its 4 smart bombs. It will definitely give you guys some very heavy opportunities for being able to destroy vehicles so freaking easily on the ground. And the A-10 is overall also able to tank some tank shields, which is also really important. The reason why the Su-25 I wouldn't consider it better than the A-10 now is because it doesn't really have smart bombs that's going to be taking a lot more skill to use. Anyway, that's the planes over. Let's now actually move into the helicopters. So first of all, starting with the helicopters, I'm going to be giving you guys the main and the most obvious pick. The Raider X is still until this day the best helicopter in the whole entire game. I will be recommending you guys to go ahead and actually upgrade this thing first. And the first metric I suppose, and I believe you guys should definitely upgrade, is going to be speed, because if you guys do max out this vehicle's speed, I believe it's going to be able to go up to like 320 miles per hour, which by the way in a lot of cases actually allows you guys to chase planes very easily and also outrun them. So it's pretty much just going to be a perfect counter to planes. Its firepower won't matter as much because the main strength of this vehicle is how nimble it is, but I definitely suggest you guys to be also upgrading the firepower. Now the next vehicle which I suggest you guys to go ahead and upgrade is going to be the Mi-28 Havoc. It's going to be a very huge powerhouse in terms of its missiles, and just buffing them by 30% is going to be very important. However, if you guys fully max out its health as well, it'll also be able to survive a tank show, and this is also very important. Anyway, next one on this list right here is going to be the AH-1Z Viper. The reason why is because this vehicle is a great counter to planes, and overall it's pretty much just an upgraded Little Bird, I suggest you guys to be upgrading the firepower and speed the most. The health won't be mattering as much because this helicopter is very fast and nimble, so you won't really get hit. Anyway, the one and for next selection which I have from a lot of players is actually going to be the AH6 Little Bird. If you guys do manage to fully max out this thing, it's going to be bringing it back to its former glory, if not a lot better after the nerf. I definitely suggest you guys to be upgrading this, is because it's going to be allowing you guys to utilize your very small hitbox, so speed and firepower are always going to be the most important ones. The health is probably going to be the last one for the Little Bird. Anyway, moving into one and last one is going to be the Mi-24 Hind. The reason why it's so good is because of its explosive machine guns and the barrage rockets. I really just suggest you guys to upgrade the health and the firepower of this vehicle. The speed won't be mattering as much because this vehicle is overall not that fast, but if you guys do go ahead and max out your speed, it's definitely going to be able to let you compete with a lot of other much more powerful vehicles in terms of being fast. Anyway, next up, moving into the tanks, and tanks is where it gets quite interesting. The first one I'm definitely going to be recommending is going to be the BMPT Terminator. On max speed, this thing will be able to go to 70 miles per hour, and as a ground vehicle, that is a huge buff. Its health also needs a buff, and I think the firepower should be the last thing that you guys will need to be able to max out, is because of its 4 guided missiles. It will pretty much just carry you through it, and I think it's not going to be as important to upgrade the firepower. I think it's definitely going to have to be the last one that you guys will be upgrading. Anyway, next, very basic pick, one of the most versatile vehicles in the game, the Abrams X. I first recommend you guys to be upgrading health and firepower, and then move into the speed. The speed of this vehicle, it was never its main strength, it was mainly its firepower and how tanky it was. Anyway, next vehicle that I also have for you guys over here is going to be a very weird selection, but I'm going to be picking the T14 Armada. This was suggested by me by one of your favorite YouTubers, probably you know by now, Rutik. He is a big main of the T14 Armada, and I have heard that if you guys fully max out the firepower of this vehicle, it's going to be an absolute powerhouse, and it will just be able to shred through pretty much everything. So firstly, I believe that you guys should definitely max out firepower. After that is going to be health, and then lastly, once again, speed. Now, moving into the next one on this list, this is also my personal suggestion, it's going to be the LOSAT. The reason why I very much suggest you guys to be able to max the LOSAT is because of its strength in terms of all of its wire-guided missiles. And this vehicle used to be very fast and nimble when it was first introduced to the game, but it has been nerfed, unfortunately. So the first thing I definitely suggest you guys to be upgrading is going to be health and speed, and then last firepower, because these 12 guided missiles, it will easily be able to carry you guys through the fights. And this is just an overall overpowered anti-air vehicle counter. Even though this is an anti-tank vehicle, it just does so well for anti-air. And then lastly, this is going to be a basic selection, the KF-51 Panther, one of the best tanks in the game. Pretty much is just an Abrams X copy. I first suggest you guys to be maxing out the health and firepower, and then go with the speed last. Anyway, now moving into the last set of vehicles that we have ourselves in this video, it's going to be the vehicles, the ground vehicles. But if we're going to be talking ships, very fast suggestion I have for you guys, of course this one has to be max. I first suggest you guys to max out the speed and firepower, since the health of this vehicle is already strong enough, and then go with the health last. And the PG-02 is also very overpowered with its main rotary cannon in terms of being able to shred planes. So I definitely recommend you guys to first get the firepower one, then the health, and then the speed. Anyway, let's fully actually go ahead and move into the ground vehicles, because this is going to be a very interesting pick. So first of all, I very much recommend you guys to be upgrading the VCSC Mephisto. The first two metrics I believe you guys will need to upgrade first. It's going to be the health and speed, and then move into firepower last. The reason being is because of its 4 wire-guided missiles. It always carries you through it with its firepower, and I think it doesn't need as much of a buff in terms of that, but of course it's going to be important to take. Next up, we have ourselves the Boxer CRV. This is a pretty simple pick. I definitely suggest you guys to first go with health, then go with firepower, and then go with speed. This is a very strong vehicle once it does get maxed out, because of its main cannon is going to be incredibly strong, which is going to be the HE cannon. Oh my god, this thing has been buffed recently, shadow buffed I believe this is. And then of course moving into the Lavat, we all know the Gatling gun of this vehicle is incredibly powerful, but it always did lack a little bit of health and a little bit of speed. So I first suggest you guys to be upgrading the health, and then going to be upgrading the speed, and lastly the firepower. And then this vehicle will pretty much just become very versatile for you. And then lastly, the Panzer tier S1. Same with the Patriot. It's really up to you guys what you want to upgrade first. I don't see these vehicles as movement vehicles or vehicles that do tank anything with health, so I personally suggest you guys to only be upgrading the firepower if you want to go ahead and save yourself parts. Anyway, that is all I will have for you guys in today's video. Do let me in the comment section down below what you think about this list. Personally, I think I've done really well with here, and thank you so much to all the people that did help me out in making this video. You know who you are. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Have a great rest of the day, and let me know in the comment section down below which vehicles you guys have upgraded. I will be doing a lot more upgraded vehicle content very soon, and it's going to be very fun gameplay videos. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of the day, and thanks so much to my channel members.